The choice is clear.
The choice is clear, and I'm very confident about Canadians' choice.
Well, not so clear, actually. Rarely have Canadians' votes been spread so thinly among so many parties, with even the frontrunners struggling to get a third of voting intentions. Senior Liberals admit they could be facing defeat.
There's a possibility, strong possibility, that Andrew Scheer could win on Monday.
The campaign has become a dance in which leaders try to keep their options open without committing to any particular partner. But wherever they go, they're asked who's on their dance card.
And with the Greens, they said they're willing to. The difference is they say they're willing to or open to working with the Conservatives. I've said I've ruled that out entirely.
We would not enter into any type of negotiations with the Bloc. I don't need to work with the Bloc Québécois to deliver results for Quebec. I can work with Premier Legault to do that.
Si j'étais Monsieur Scheer,
The Bloc's Yves-François Blanchet clearly believes Scheer may have to eat those words and says while he's open to supporting him on some issues, killing the carbon tax isn't one of them. And as the party's jockey in the home stretch, the messaging is more about who will cut.
I will not work with the Conservatives because they cut services, and their platform shows it very clearly. They are going to cut healthcare. They are going to cut transit.
On cuts to culture, on cuts to communities, on cuts to families, to veterans.
And who will overspend.
It's the coalition Canadians can't afford. Justin Trudeau will pay any price to stay in power, and he will use your money to pay for it. So my message to Canadians is this: only a Conservative majority government can prevent a government with Justin Trudeau as the spokesman, but the NDP calling the shots.
Say what they will, either frontrunner is likely to be beholden to a smaller party after Election Day, and that could raise a whole new problem, angering parties' core supporters by teaming up with an opponent. Evan Dyer, CBC News, Ottawa.
The possibility of a minority government is certainly evident in the polls. CBC's poll analyst Eric Grenier explains which parties are slipping and which could end up holding the balance of power.
We're less than a week to go before Election Day, and this election is looking just as close as it has been since the beginning of this campaign. Let's look at the numbers from the poll tracker, the national polling averages, still having the Conservatives and the Liberals within a point of each other. It's been that way since day one. What we have seen changing is that both the Liberals and the Conservatives have been dropping support in the last few days, both of them below 33%. Hard to imagine that either can get a majority government with such low support nationwide. One of the factors contributing to that is the gains for the NDP. They're now at about 17.5% of the vote. That is up from the early days of the campaign when they were vying with the Greens for that third spot. The Greens still holding a lot of their support, now at 9%. The Bloc's been making big gains in Quebec. They're at about 7% nationwide, just under 30% in Quebec, in second spot in that province. People's Party still mired at under 3% support. If we look at the trend line, you can really see how things have been shifting in the last few days, that the New Democrats have been picking up, and they've been picking up at the expense of both the Liberals and the Conservatives. We've been seeing them drop over the last few days as the New Democrats tick up with each passing day, and that is improving their position in the seat projection. Let's look at those numbers and why we're still talking so much about the potential for a minority government. We now have the Liberals and the Conservatives both below 140 seats, the crest of these hills for the Liberals and the Conservatives, well below 170 needed for a majority government. We're now seeing the New Democrats. They're in third spot in the seat projection. They can win over 30 seats. So can the Bloc Québécois. That means either of those parties could hold the balance of power if these numbers hold through to Election Day. Could be a wild night.